Hi everyone, it's Chris here from Heatable Gaming, and welcome to the second part of the teams to manage in Football Manager 2020. I said if the last video got 500 views, I'd do another one, so if you're struggling to know who to manage in Football Manager 2020, struggling for save ideas, watch this video because I'm going to give you some teams to do your stuff with. My first pick is Bolton Wanderers, and I think it's a pretty obvious choice. I think a lot of people are going to go for Bolton Wanderers. They're a huge club, Premier League based fan base, and they have potential. Now, Bolton Wanderers nearly went to the wall. They were in administration and they were saved by some investors, and we're going to start with a 12 point deduction, which is going to be a challenge in itself. So the challenge is to build a club, sign players, and not get relegated with a 12 point deduction. To be fair, I think the fans would just be happy with survival and just having a football club, to be honest. Now, back in the early 2000s, Bolton were a pretty big deal under Sam Allardyce. We were a Premier League regular. We had players like JJ Okocha, Djurkaeff, Hero, Nicholas Anelka. So we had some huge players and they did really, really well, had played exciting football, and yeah, you get Bolton back to that level again? Now I've taken you onto this screen. We're not going to learn much from this screen because obviously the players are going to be all different and everything. But what we can do is look at the overview and the facilities. Obviously we've got the Reebok Stadium. It's now called the University of Bolton Stadium, and yeah, it's still the Reebok to me, but it's a 28,723 all-seater stadium, so it can go up to 28,018 in normal matches. So it's got good facilities, you've got adequate junior coaching, average youth recruitment, you've got good youth facilities, and yeah, good training facilities, good corporate. So there's potential here for a Premier League club. What you have to do is fight through and firefight and get players in, not get relegated, fight against the 12 points and see how you get on, because this is a huge challenge and everybody I speak to wants to do the Bolton Wanderers challenge. So make that your first choice in the Football Manager 2020. The second choice is another obvious one, Derby County. And yeah, there's only one reason to pick Derby County. You're not going to be replacing Frank Lampard, obviously he's away to Chelsea. But the one reason is this man here, right next to me here. It's rather disconcerting how big he is compared to me there. But it is Wayne Rooney. And he's coming back to English football in January. So part of the fun is just keeping the job until January, and then you're going to get one of the greatest English footballers of all time in your squad. So this is his profile here. He's 32, he'll be 33 by the time he might be actually 34 by the time he joins you. So I don't know how much money, he's on 58,000 there, so I don't know how much money Derby County are going to be paying him, but look at him, he's a decent player. In the Championship he's going to eat the defenders for breakfast, isn't he? I'd take him in a Premier League team. He would do a season in a top league, no problem. And obviously I don't know what the stats are. Obviously they might be a little bit lower because he's been playing in America for a year. But yeah, let's look at his history. Man United, Everton. Yeah, look at how many goals he scored. 220 goals. He's going to add to that in Derby County. No bother. So in terms of Derby County, as you can see, we've been in the Premier League and they've dropped down. We only had that one spell in the Premier League where we were absolutely appalling, didn't we? We broke the records for the lowest number of points, and it was Paul Jewell and Robbie Savage and that bunch there that did that. So yeah, so look at the facilities. It's affiliated clubs, we don't want to see that, we want to see the facilities. Got Pride Park, 33,000, it's a pretty big stadium as well, it's all seater. It's a very good stadium. It's superb training facilities, good corporate facilities, excellent youth facilities. you're going to have some good regens coming through here. We've got some good young players in the squad. And the average age is quite low. A lot of players on loan, mind you, but yeah, you're going to get some good youth prospects coming through there. And yeah, you've got a chance. This could be a good Premier League project, a long-term project. Could you take them to win the league again? As we can see from our thing, we've won the Premier League twice in their history. I think it was Brian Clough, wasn't it? After remembering the Damn United, that was a great film. So yeah, I suppose the challenge in this save is, can you get Derby County back winning the Premier League? That's the ultimate goal, isn't it? And having Wayne Rooney's going to give you a good start. Right, the next choice is by far and away the most commented team in my last video. Everybody wants to manage Newcastle United, and I think that's because Rafa was there. He was doing a great job holding them up, and he's gone now. Steve Bruce is there, and his hands are tied behind his back. Rafa was making out that there was no money to spend, and then he brought a striker in with huge money as soon as Steve Bruce came in. So I think it was 35 million, if I'm wrong, in the comments down below, but they spent a huge amount on a striker. So Rafa was maybe just looking for a little bit of sympathy, trying to make out he was doing a better job than he actually was. And Steve Bruce has made a good start. So it's a club with potential. Yeah, in terms of facilities, we've got St James's Park. It's a 52,000 seater stadium, all seater. We've got absolutely good youth facilities. You've got average junior coaching, above average youth recruitment. You could probably upgrade that, but you know, the challenge with this save is, can you get them back to challenging for the title again, like we were on under Kevin Keegan? Is that possible? Do you need to get rid of Mike Ashley, get a seat? And I think that's part of the reason that people wanted to do this save, was there was supposed to be a rich oil tycoon taking over from the Middle East. And you've got to make it a good squad. It needs a huge overhaul, to be honest, if you want to challenge for the title. I think at the moment it's just above relegation. Probably just a little bit better than that. So yes, the ultimate challenge of this save is, can you get them back challenging with the big 4-5 clubs? Bonus points if you can guess what the stadium I'm looking at is just now. Any answers? Quick in the comments. Billericay Town. Yeah, you weren't expecting that, were you? But yeah, this is my choice for a team to manage. The reason I chose Billericay Town is just for one reason. And it's not the man on the far right over there, not him. It's this guy here, Glenn Tamplin. Now he is the owner of Billericay Town, and he's a bit of a chap. He goes through managers, he sacks them, brings them back, he installs himself as manager, he pulls himself out of funding the club, and if there's ever a chance that Football Manager are going to put in a character as a chairman and they start having interference and doing crazy things, this is the chance, and this is the guy here that we would do it with, because he is the ultimate billionaire playboy. He's got the fast cars and he's got the football club to go with it. He bankrolls Billericay Town himself, and Jamie O'Hara's come along for the ride. He's assistant manager at the moment, but I don't know if he is this season, because I can't find anything on Wikipedia. I went on the website and he's not listed as a player or anything. He was a player assistant manager last season, so he's in the game in Football Manager 19, but I don't know if he's going to be in the squad this year because I can't find anything about it. But yeah, this guy's the main reason. So the stadium's New Lodge, and it's in Billericay, and it's 5,000 seater stadium, so it's not a bad size stadium. Needs a lot of work, obviously, if you were going to go up the leagues. Poor youth facilities, fairly basic recruitment. The finances are insecure, which is a bit worrying. I think it's just because the one guy backs him. He's a sort of sugar daddy. It's a good place to start in the grassroots of the game. It's the lowest actual official league in the game. The Panorama National League South. You've got the North as well, but yeah, if you have a good chance, And if you've got Jamie O'Hara, you're going to have a chance. If you don't have Jamie O'Hara, then I don't know how much a chance you've got. But he has spent a lot of money when tampering. We've got to give him his due. He has put his money where his mouth is and brought in top quality players. So there's a chance that he's brought in some good quality players this season. So I suppose the challenge is not to get sacked in this save, really. We're going to cross the border next for my next pick, and it is Dundee United. Yeah, strange one coming from a St Johnstone supporter, but yeah, Dundee United have a lot of potential. They have a tough league this season. They've got Dundee, and we're local rivals, and they're probably going to be their biggest challengers for the title. But Dundee United are well backed by a millionaire American. They're bringing in some big players, and they're really throwing the dice at trying to get promotion this season. They've spent money on a lot of decent Scottish players, a lot of foreign players, and they're going to make a real good go at it. So you're going to have a great squad, probably the best in the division. So it's a good chance. And you're going to have this man, Lawrence Shankland, top scorer in Scotland last season, and he's firing the goals already this season. So he is going to fire you to promotion, hopefully, if you take this save. But the challenge is going to be keeping Dundee United in the league. So as you can see, Fraser Fyvie's the captain. We might see a little bit more of Fraser Fyvie in the next club that I'm going to go and visit, but we'll just ignore him at the moment. He's no longer the captain. So as you can see from the league positions, pretty much a standard Premier League side, and then all of a sudden they've just taken a nosedive into the Championship, and this is their third season in it, so they have to get out of it. So as you can see, the local rivals are Dundee, who were relegated last season, so they'll be in the same league. And a lot of legends there. And the reason there's a lot of legends there is because if we look at the competitions, they were runners-up in what is now the Europa League, but it was the Euro Cup in 1987, and they're the answer to that pub quiz question, who has never been beaten by Barcelona by playing them more than once, and yeah, it's Dundee United. So pretty good facilities. You've got Tannadice Park. It's 14,000 all-seater, and it's on the same street as Dens Park, which is Dundee, so they are you can actually just walk between them quite easily. So home games and away games are the same street really, so you're not having to worry about travelling and stuff. So yeah, we've got good facilities for Scotland, really good facilities for Scotland, to be honest. So they've got a lot of money now, and you have this man, Lawrence Shankland, as I touched on before. He's going to be leading your line, and he'll score goals because he's always scored goals in Scotland, and he's scored 57 already. He's not done it at Premiership level, so that's going to be the challenge for you. So I suppose the challenge for this save is you get Dundee United back in the Premier League and keep them there, and maybe even eventually go on a European adventure. And if you've got a lot of time, break the old firm's dominance like we did in the 80s. So staying in Scotland for the next pick, I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds to see if you can guess from the stadium what club I'm going to choose. Write down in the comments quickly if you can figure it out. But yeah, it's Cove Rangers. And Cove Rangers were in the Highland League last season. We won it. We won the playoff against East Kilbride. And then we played Berwick Rangers, the only English team in Scotland. And they knocked them out of the league system, and they've taken their place. And Cove Rangers are an ambitious side. They're a good side. They play. They've got some good players. The main reason I'm really excited about them is they've got a bit of money, a bit of oil money behind them, like most of the Highland League sides, and they're based just outside Aberdeen. So Aberdeen's a one-team city. So, and it's a very big, in Scottish terms, it's a fairly big city. It's third biggest city in Scotland, and it's in that little bit all by itself. So you've got fan bases, you've got people that maybe would go along and support Aberdeen, and they might come and see a game here. Yeah, so it's got potential. It's also got a few decent players. The main one is this man here, Fraser Fyvie. He was playing in the Premier League up until last season. Well, I think he was at Dundee United last season, but he was playing at a higher level. Injuries have kind of destroyed his career a little bit, but yeah, at one point he was really highly regarded, and he's too good to be playing it this way. I think you've got Scott Mitchie as well, who is a really good centre forward. Migson. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he is a top class centre forward as well, and he'll score goals at any level. He scored a lot of goals in the Highland League, so he would do a job for anybody. So as you can see, this is in Football Manager 2019. I've got the Highland League loaded up as a custom database, and John Sheeran as manager. It's Paul Hartley now, who's a fairly big name in Scotland as the manager, and he probably should be managing at a higher level. We're at Balmoral Stadium in Aberdeen. It says it's synthetic new type soft surface, so it's not actually grass, but that's not a big thing in Scotland. A lot of teams have got this synthetic surface. In terms of facilities, yeah, they need a lot of work, but you know, Aberdeen's big enough to have two very big sides and decent sides as well. In terms of history, they've just won 6 Highland League football clubs titles. So my next pick, as you can see, something a little bit more, what's the word, spacious than the Balmoral Stadium. Definitely a lot less homely. Yeah, we're at the Ajax Arena. So the next pick obviously is Ajax, and yeah, the reason that Ajax will create a challenge is because we were the semi-finalists in the Champions League, losing to Tottenham, and yeah, we're going to have a major rebuild again, because every year Ajax have a successful team, or they have good youngsters, they've got the best youth facilities in the world, and they get plucked away to the bigger clubs, and this year's no different. Delet is away to Juventus, and there's a couple other players. Is it Frankie de Jong? He's away to Barcelona. Kasper Dolberg, he's away. So we've lost a lot of our big players for star men. So can you really rebuild this club? Not just rebuild it, just compete with the big nations again, like the Barcelonas, the Real Madrids, the Inter Milans, the Juventuses, the Chelseas, the Arsenals, the Man Cities, the Paris Saint-Germains. Can you do that on a budget? You know, this is the same thing as like teams like Celtic and Genk and Anderlecht, you know, Copenhagen, you know what I mean? But Ajax is probably the biggest of the provincial nations in European football. Can you rebuild it? And keep rebuilding it every year after your team gets decimated every season. So as you can see, we've got a 55,000 seater stadium. It's the Johan Cruyff Arena, not the Ajax Arena as I was calling it there. And yeah, we've got superb youth facilities, superb training facilities, extensive youth recruitment. They are a team built on youngsters, but the problem is you're not going to have the youngsters every year, because the big clubs are going to steal them if you have them. And if you look at our history, 4 European Champions Cup winners, so basically the Champions League, and a European Cup Winners' Cup, a Europa Cup, and 33 Dutch titles. So the challenge with this team is, and it's quite a simple one, just try and compete with the big nations. Can you make Ajax into the powerhouse they were in the 70s? When Johan Cruyff was leading the line, and they had a team, or even the team in 92 when they, with the Kluivert and the De Boer years. But that's the challenge. So for Club 8 on this list, I'm going to pick a controversial one. As you can tell by somewhere a little bit more square than the Johan Cruyff Arena. It's Red Bull Salzberg. Yeah, Red Bull. Boo. Yeah. Hear me out. The reason I've chose Red Bull Salzburg is they are the biggest club in Austria, and they have the Red Bull money behind them, just like Leipzig does, and the team in Brazil, Red Bull Brasilia, whatever they're called. And they have that money. They're really successful, and they don't do that well in Europe, to be honest. They struggle a little bit. So this is a challenge. Can you make Austrian football a powerhouse again? Was it ever a powerhouse, to be honest? So as you can see, we were founded in 2005 using the old Red Bull money, and yeah, they've got a fairly good history of what those 15 years. We've got 9 Austrian Premier Leagues, 5 Austrian FA Cups, so they're dominating Austrian football. But the reason I picked them is if you look at their facilities, they have state-of-the-art youth academy, they have excellent junior coaching, extensive youth recruitment, and this save is all about youth. It's much like the Ajax. This is the Ajax of Austria, really. They have a lot of wonder kids coming through. You know, their first team's got a lot of youngsters in it. And look at this, Erling Haaland. He's 17 years old, Norwegian, and he's worth 17.75 million. So this is a club that are producing youngsters. I know the legalities of them transferring players between Leipzig and Salzberg and all that. That's a bit controversial. I know that the fans don't really like the Red Bull thing, but if you want a challenge with money, and you want a challenge that's not Barcelona, not Man City, not Man United, this is a challenge, and it's making Austria dominant in Europe, and maybe in turn making Austria a force in international scene as well. So for pick number 9, we're going a little bit obscure. As you can see by the surroundings, it's a beautiful surrounding, but it doesn't look like much of a stadium. It's FC Andorra. And the reason I picked FC Andorra, there's only one reason to pick FC Andorra, apart from the fact it's the only Andorran club in Spanish football, and they are finally playable. And the reason they're finally playable is because of this man. Just the man just right above my head here. Gerard Piqué, and his group, I take it the guy in the middle and the other guy are business associates, but basically he's in a business partnership with a couple of rich guys, and he's very rich as well because obviously he's a footballer with Barcelona and Man United, and he's had a fantastic career. And they've bought FC Andorra, and they didn't just buy them, they've invested quite heavily. They've got a good side of players with experience of being in Barcelona. We've got a lot of Barcelona youth players. We're really trying to improve Andorran football. We've got a mission to try and bring FC Andorra up the leagues. We've been ambitious. We've appointed Gabri, a former Barcelona and Ajax player, as manager. And yeah, we've got a little partnership going with Barcelona. And yeah, this is an interesting challenge, because as I say, it's the first time you can play as FC Andorra in Football Manager. Not only did they win the league, I think we were in the 5th Division B. If I'm right, I'm not very good. I'm better with German football and Scottish football and English football. I'm not so good with Spanish football. So we were in the 5th Division B, which meant we were going into the 5th Division. But they bought a place in the 4th Division, because we wouldn't have been playable before without like a database add-on or a custom database. But because they've bought their way into the 4th Division, they are actually playable in Football Manager. So nothing dodgy going on there, you know. Nothing to do with sportsmanship or anything. Nothing about achieving things in sport by doing it the right way, by winning things. No. Just throw a lot of money. I think it was like $500,000 to get up the league. Or €500,000, so it's probably, I don't know how much that is in pounds, probably about €500,000, because the exchange rates are so close to each other. But yeah, this is an interesting side. And if we just go on to the page, as I say, they're not actually a team in the game. I've got the badges and stuff just because I've got the badge pack and everything in. As you can see, so they do have players. Andrea Villanova, he's been at Barcelona youth team And these are just the guys that are actually here. Rivanera, he's Barcelona. Foggy, he's been all about, decent player. And they'll have more of these guys when they actually come into the actual game. So they'll be well backed. We've got a lot of money. Can you take them to the Spanish top division? If you look at the facilities, they're not great, but we're putting lots of money into it. We've got an 899 seater stadium. The thing about Andorra is it's a whole country. You've got the whole country. The rest of the clubs are all going to be part-time amateurs. This is going to be the only professional club. So can you have the backing of the whole nation? And can you improve Andorran football as a whole? It's much like the San Marino challenge in Italy. This is the new challenge. And I think everybody's going to want to do it. So let's see how well we can do. So for my final pick, I'm going out there. This was suggested by a commenter in my last video on the 12 teams that will present a challenge. Alamino. So thank you for this suggestion. It was not a suggestion I actually thought about, but it is. I'm going to have to get my pronunciation right for it. It's Luch Vladivostov. Luch Vladivostov. I think I've said that right. If I haven't, then I'm sorry to you Luch Vladivostov fans. There's an interesting reason I've picked these guys, and it's not just because they have one of the most beautiful shirts I have ever seen. I don't know if this is this season's one, but when I googled Luch Vladivostov, this is one of the images that came up, and that is a thing of beauty. I would wear that. If anybody knows where I can get one of these shirts, just drop me a message down below. I need to have one of these in my life. It is a thing of absolute spectacular beauty. The reason I picked Vladivostok is because to get from one side of Russia, Vladivostok, all the way to Kaliningrad, and the other side, which isn't technically part of mainland Russia, it's kind of split up by the Baltic nations. So you kind of have to cross them to get into Kaliningrad. But to get from that to that, it would take you 7 days and 19 hours on a bus, or it would take 136 hours to drive across. Now, that's not all. To get from Vladivostok to Moscow, it's a 9-hour flight. Yeah, 9 hours. That is crazy. From the same country. So, they're practically, we're right next to Japan, South Korea, far corner of China. This is not an easy place to get to. And if you could qualify for the European football, just think about, you're used to travelling. They're not. So imagine getting somebody from Iceland, you know what I mean, and all the way over there. Or Portugal. It's that Ireland, United Kingdom, you know what I mean? That's a nightmare journey. Absolute nightmare. And yeah, I'd love to see that. Just somebody travelling 100. Look at that. Even Poland, right? That's right next to Kaliningrad. You're going to be looking at over 10,000 kilometres just to play a game of football. As I say, it's this is one of the teams I'm definitely going to manage in Football Manager 2020. So again, not sure how much we're going to find out by just looking at Football Manager 2019. The strips don't look as nice, but I don't think they're the real strips, to be honest. I think they're just the placeholders, because I don't have the strips for the Russian league. So yeah, the Russian First Division, overview, general, reputation 2 stars, professional. So you've got that going for you. The season tickets don't cost that much, £48 for a season ticket, bargain. The finances are secure though, and they've got a transfer ban, but that should be over by the time that comes along. I don't know why we've got a transfer ban. Couldn't find much about them in the thing. So yeah, we've got a 10,000 seater stadium. That's pretty good, and we saw the stadium. It's a beautiful looking place. Stadium conditions poor. I can't believe that from the photos. Under soil heating, you need that in Russia. Basic use facilities. It needs a lot of work. It does need a lot of work, but I suppose the challenge for this is just to make these guys into a European powerhouse when they're actually closer to Asia, you know what I mean? And so that would be a really interesting save. And I think it's definitely a save I quite fancy doing. So thank you so much, Amino. And yeah, so if you liked this video and you want to know more about Football Manager 2020, subscribe to my channel, hit me a like, and yeah, comment, because I love replying to comments. It just makes me happy. Alright, well thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.